Hi, this is Elizabeth Estel, Homeschool Christian Mom, and thank you so much for joining me while I do a review of the 7th grade language arts curriculum from BJU Press. I'm very happy with this curriculum, and I think you would be too. But let's go over what's involved. First of all, we have vocabulary. Now this is vocabulary A. They have A, B, C, D, E, and F that go all the way through high school. So A starts with Latin prefixes and suffixes and word attack skills. And these are very good in helping your children learn the basics for Latin roots and also how to use the knowledge they already have to attack new words. And I found that it helped my students do well on standardized testing also. The writing and grammar emphasizes the orderliness of language. You're going to be building on the same foundations, nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, but you're going to be putting them together in the writing process. So they have writing exercises for every section. So they talk about informational writing, personal narrative, descriptions, persuasive essays, and report writing, and that's all done in the context of the writing and grammar book. So we used to introduce the writing on Monday, require a rough draft by Wednesday. They could make corrections on Thursday, and it was due on Friday, and that kept it very organized for me as well. So I do also want to point out that the teacher's book has a CD at the back. It just takes about 10 minutes to go through, and it has a lot of extra material, but not so much that it's overwhelming. But it includes rubrics for grading, supplemental materials, and I think it is definitely worth looking at. And it also has tips and other activities that you might use. One of the sections in here that I really liked was using troublesome words. And it seemed to help with standardized testing later, and it helped my students to know both the spelling of the words and how the nuances of use would be handled. The explorations in literature part comes with the student text and 2 teachers' books so that they're not too big, an A and a B. I really like how they handled the literature. I don't know if any of you went to public school, but I did. And sometimes the public school would have the reading selections were actually disturbing. And they were sort of ambiguous, and they didn't have a good moral tone. You're not going to find that in these books. These books have a good moral tone to them. And they're divided up nicely into different sections like courage, man and nature, generosity, our land. So they are divided up nicely. They have good moral tone. But how do they teach you how to deal with objectionable elements? Well, there's a whole section on that. How do you manage evil characters in literature, and what is our biblical response to it? There's a whole section on that. So you want the bad guys to lose and the good guys to win, and sin to be something that you want to stay away from, and not all books are like that. So how do you deal with that as a Christian? This book has the answers for you. Now, the student book is reproduced within the teacher's book, and then there are extra. Oh, I would have to turn to a page that doesn't have it on it, right? So you can see that there's little notes around the edge of the student text that's in the middle. And it's very well presented with notes and colors, so you can find out how you're supposed to be giving the information to your student. So we want to begin with a very foundational, how do you appreciate literature, the concepts that determine what good literature is or isn't, and our attitudes as Christian about that. I really like that, this book also has a CD at the back with enrichment, quizzes, tips for working with students from that English is a second language, worksheets, bulletin boards, ideas if you're a teacher in a Christian school, writing projects. There have been some concerns lately about, are these stories just good for the girls in your household, or are they not good for the guys? These books are great for girls or guys. In fact, I love the very first story that's in this book on courage. It's talking about guys that are going camping. And neither one of them wants the other one to know that they have some fears about going camping, being out in the dark, and there's bats around. And how did they handle that? Now, this is a humorous essay, but it gets the point across about how two friends can help each other with their fears. So it's a very good first starter. And the younger sister is called the Troll, but everything is done in a nice way, and it also has information about each author. So do you need all these books? Well, I would highly recommend getting the whole package, which would include the tests and answer keys for the writing and grammar, and the tests and answer keys for the literature. The writing and grammar books and the vocabulary book to have an all-around integrated approach to help your students. I don't think you will be sorry about that. And I really think that the value of these lessons and the way they are put together and integrated and the foundational biblical principles will help you teach your 7th grade student and give them a good foundation for learning and literature for the rest of their life. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to subscribe below. Thanks.